Sorry, I'm just going to hit record. And Mike, for your team, if you want to use this as well, we do record it and then I throw it up on YouTube. So I'll give you the link and you guys can share it or do whatever you want to do with it. Or if you have a training website and you want to put it up on there. And I hope that you're okay with us sharing the content on YouTube. If not, then I can just put it on our training website. So that's up to you guys, whatever you want to do. So I'm not going to take a ton of time tonight, but I'm so excited, you guys, because I remember when I went to leadership in California and I came home and I was like, there was a few select people that I met down there that made me feel really good. And I think that in this business, there's always people that you learn stuff from, and there's always people that are really good at certain things. You can take nuggets from them and at events and you meet people, but there's certain people that you just fall in love with the way that they think, the way that they do things, the way that they run their business. And I think most importantly, the integrity that comes along with the business. And that's something that, we can kind of lose also as leaders the further along we get in the business, the integrity and how easy it is to, get lost in the whole leadership thing. So I appreciate this couple so much because I love the way that they've built their business. They have completely built it on honesty and trust, and everything that they do is just so real and so authentic, and their live videos are hilarious, and it's just true blue. So I came home from leadership thinking if I could have, a couple of people that I met down there come and do our team call, and who could we learn from? Your guys' name absolutely popped up for me because I appreciate the way that you guys run the business so much. It's been incredible watching you guys. And besides that, I don't know if you guys read the stats in our team page, but that's ridiculous. Okay. To go from a brand new coach to a 5-star diamond elite team in such a short amount of time, especially this year when we had so many things changing, just blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. That is something that took me 2 years. It took me 6 months to get to diamond. It took me 2 years to finally hit elite. So kudos to you guys. The way that you've grown your business is just incredible. So I'm so excited to learn from you. I know I took a ton from, what you taught me down at leadership and, just chatting with you guys. So I'm super excited to hear what you guys have to say. If you guys are on the call, have questions, which I hope you do, there'll probably be a little bit of time at the end. We can do a little Q&A. You guys can have some time to answer your questions. So type them in the chat box, and then they'll be able to answer them at the end. So are you guys good to start? Do you have slides? Can I unmute you, or can you unmute yourself?
We are good whenever you're ready to hand it off.
Awesome. Okay, give her.
First of all, how many of you are going to go to leadership next year? How many of you would like to go to leadership? Yeah, it's and we'll get into a little bit of that as we go, but yeah, those events, they're just crazy. And I just want to say before we start this that I remember from the first month starting that this Casey Lawrence girl was for us, was what we wanted to hit. I remember, right? Mm-hmm. It was this, yeah. So this is pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool to do this for you too. And it goes to show you this whole business, as no matter who you see on Facebook, from what we've met, 99% of the people are real people. We all put a persona to some degree on, and it's our highlight reel to some degree, but most of the people we've met, it's oh, you're normal, just like us. So which is kind of cool because again, it's gone so fast. Yeah. It's a bit of a blur for us. So we're going to get into a bit of a slideshow for you. Make sure this is going to work. And Casey, I'll just get you to unmute yourself and just let me know that you can see this. What is it? How do you start slideshow?
Yeah, right there. And then go there.
Okay, is that good?
You're good.
Cool.
Okay.
So we're going to talk a little bit about branding.
We're going to talk a lot about branding.
Yeah, that's all we're going to talk about. So from a background perspective, I mean, Angel's done graphic design in her past. I owned a business, a chain of pet stores. And yeah, no, we did. We had them out in BC too. And so a lot of it, we grew the business from scratch. So that's kind of where a bit of the background comes from between the two of us. So, and what we always say, and we're going to relate this a lot to what we tell our coaches is, if you're marketing to everyone, you're absolutely marketing to nobody, no one. Right? And you may have heard that before. If you are not targeting somebody, then you're really not targeting anybody at all. So we'll get into that in a bit more detail, but that's kind of the gist of what we're going to talk about. And do you want to talk about kind of how we started or how this whole thing came about?
Yeah, so we started about 2 years ago, and I had put on 65 pounds with both my pregnancies, and I lost it the first time when I had my daughter, Esme. I lost 65 pounds after she was born doing P90X. And then when I had my son...
how long ago was that?
That was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And then 2 years ago when I had my son, I put on another 65 pounds. Mike and I, we went through a lot of fertility stuff. So I wasn't allowed to move off the couch for like 9 straight months. So eating and eating and eating. Anyway, 65 pounds later, I joined a challenge group. And I lost my weight that way. So I did the 21-day fix. I joined an accountability group. I thought it was amazing, and it helped me lose all my baby weight.
I did not think it was amazing. I thought they were stupid.
Yeah. He laughed at me. He laughed at me the whole time. He was like, you're doing what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was with my brother too. So there was kind of some fun ribbing going along with that. So that's how that started. I obviously mocked it. I
was doing my before pictures one night.
Yeah.
And he then decided to take his own before pictures.
And obviously I was making fun of it. So I thought, I'm going to do some, again, defense mechanism is to mock, right? And to make fun of. And at this time I was about 200 pounds. I've got severe osteoarthritis in my knee. So that was always my excuse. So I just made fun of it. So these were my response to what she was doing. So again, simple defense mechanism was I mocked. Where is it going? Sorry, we've lost our.
Can you go like that?
Try it.
No.
What do you see right now, Casey? I'm locked at I mocked. Do you see anything after that? No?
No, it's locked at that.
Okay, one sec.
Don't worry, we're used to this. I'm like the most technologically handicapped person, so it's all good.
I've never seen that. Yeah. So again, gave it a go and it worked.
He started secretly working out
in the basement.
After I would go to bed.
Because I made fun of her. I didn't want to explain that I actually was doing it. I was embarrassed because I tried P90X, couldn't do it, tried everything else. I couldn't do it. It's funny. We're just Tracy Lynn's pictures and he's friends.
Oh,
yeah. Sorry. I think it's Tracy Lynn's anniversary today, Casey, in case you're wondering what we were laughing at there just now. So that's how it started. I signed up as a coach after, even though Angel was still in the group, because I saw it as a business move first, as opposed to a passion move. It was like, I thought I'd do it. And then 59 days later, I hit diamond because that was my goal for that. And I lost 30 pounds. So it was kind of a win-win. So again, for me at the beginning, I did it as a business move, but I wasn't really sure how it was going to work. She had a lot of Facebook friends. I had no Facebook friends. I was kind of what you call skinny fat, for an older guy. It was like my legs were like skinny, but I had the paunch. So I didn't know how I was going to relate to people. So again, within about 60 days, I probably lost the 30 pounds, which was cool. So, and this kind of relates to how we've done the business is we set our goals figure out how it's going to happen, and then we just do it. And I know that sounds simplistic, but it's like, how do I do this? And again, I had my brother, and he was like, we literally didn't have a lot of help starting. We were basically given like 4 social media videos and said, here you go, knock yourself out. So had to do a lot of it ourselves. And it was like, okay, so how do you turn emerald? Then we did it. How do you do this? Then we did it. So a lot of it was figuring out how to do it ourselves. Yeah. You guys are lucky. You've got a great upline. Not that we don't, but I think you get a lot more out of it if you can figure out as much of this by yourself, and then bust your ass, right? And then you just move on to the next goal. So it was a series of, okay, how do you hit emerald? Okay, well,
let's get there. And then set the next goal. Okay, and then get there.
Yeah. So there was Summit. How do you get your free ticket for Summit, right? That's the next one for you guys. Then comes Diamond. Then comes NLC. I don't know if any of your people are on their way to possibly NLC this year, but as a first step, again, that's like it's a
game changer for sure.
Yeah. And then after NLC, it's 5-star, leadership, and then elite. So there's the cool thing with Beachbody is there's so many nice progressive goals for you to shoot for, and they're totally achievable. So go ahead. This is Angel. This is why this is a team effort, because I don't know if you want to, don't get too deep into this because we get into it, but this is all what she does. So
again, I have a little bit of a background in graphic design, and that's kind of where we started off with our branding. Is we just kind of figured out a look that spoke to us and something consistent that we used across the board. So when we first started, it was kind of like we did the black and white and color thing. So I would take pictures, I would app them out.
Even though she's in graphic design again.
Everything is still all done from my phone.
Just like you guys.
But yeah, we just stuck with like a consistent theme throughout our pictures. We always put text on them. We always put our website on. And for the majority of our photos, we did black and white, and we popped it with a bit of color.
We'll get to that in a second.
And we'll get more into that in a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, how to start. You want to do this?
So you need to find your niche. So figure out what you're about. I know for me on Instagram, infertility was my life for like 6 years. And that's what we lived through. That was our reality. So that was my thing. And through fitness, that was my niche. So when I post on Instagram, I often talk about my story, and infertility, having my kids, that's my story. Creating my family, that's my story, and always bringing fitness into it. So that's my niche. Mike's a foodie, that's his thing. So we both kind of have our thing, but then we bring it together. But you guys need to figure out what your thing is. Like, what's your niche? What are you into? What makes you you? What defines you? So figure that out first, and then figure out your
delivery.
Yeah.
Cut off.
Do you want to speak to that?
Yeah. And again, I don't know what you guys focus on. I assume it's Facebook, maybe Instagram,
maybe a bit of both.
Snapchat, who knows? But again, find the delivery that works for you. If you don't like doing live video, you probably should get out of Facebook now. Not, you don't have to, but it's kind of the way Facebook is moving, obviously. If you're totally about pictures, that's sweet. If you're totally about pictures, then see you later. If you're totally about pictures, then yeah, go on Instagram. But you got to find the delivery that you're comfortable with, right? So
find your platform, figure out what works for you.
Or find your brand. And that's something that, whether you know it or not, you have a brand. Okay. And I know you might not think that, but you do. And people can probably tell pretty quickly whether it's a crappy brand or a good brand. Everybody has a brand, and just by looking at your page for 30 seconds, we could probably figure it out. So again, do you want to talk about how we kind of started and where we've gone?
Yeah. So when we first started, most of our pictures, like I said before, were black and white. We always put text on it. We always put our logo on it. And then we would just give the main focus a pop of color. So that's how we kind of started at the beginning. So all our pictures were consistent. We always did the same thing, just changed it up with different fonts. And then it kind of evolved. So we still do our pictures that way, and that's still us. Like anybody could look at one of our pictures, I would think, and kind of know that, okay, that's Mike and Angel.
That's what we were going for.
That's what we're hoping for anyway.
Right.
Just that it kind of sets us apart, I would think. But then everybody started to use the same kind of apps and started to use it. So now we're just trying different things. And
because brands evolve.
Yeah.
Just like in any other business. And so now we're kind of we're trying a couple different things. Our brand, and it's not always visual, right? Sometimes your brand is what you speak for. And we're kind of going back towards the fitness thing. Angel was a personal trainer. She's now back certified, and you're a
healthy eating and weight loss coach. I have a degree in kinesiology. So I've always been fitness oriented, but I don't know, kind of lost my way there a little bit through having kids, and I'm a teacher, and now I'm just I'm finding my way back to fitness. So my focus is getting back into that and teaching people, teaching people again. We got certified in Insanity to teach Insanity. So that's kind of fun. But yeah, our brand is changing as well.
Oh, there it is again. No, it does it every time I do that. Hold on. Sorry. Let's try it down here.
There we go.
There we go. So it was funny because we had a talk, I think it was at NLC with Lindsay Martin back a long time ago and she was like, I don't really have a brand. I'm like, what are you talking about? Of course you have a brand.
And
she's like, what is it? We're both like, that's your brand, right? So it doesn't always have to be a style. It can be a look. But again, if you saw that, you could cover the face and you would know. And
just show the pose and you would know that it's her. That's her thing. That's
consistent image.
It's consistent across the board. At least once a day, you'll see her posing.
And it's probably easy too, because you don't have to come up with any fancy stuff. So,
right.
or it's in her bedroom sitting cross-legged with the thumbs up, right? So that's also a brand. It's that familiarity that people have and that consistency.
That they know it's you.
So
we go back down there. Yeah.
Next one. So we also use humor, obviously.
We try and keep it as real as possible. We're not perfect. We're far, far, far from perfect. We're trying to make sure that people know that and can relate to that. So,
I'm going to go back to the one. I think I took it out. Oh, that's too bad. So just to explain what the mock was,
yeah.
And Angel did a post like this in Winners with her
I was trying on leggings.
So I mocked her again. I'm a jackass. That's me. So humor's a big part of it. And like Casey, it keeping it real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some of it you have to spice up, but we're not the glitzy glam people.
And I also think if your brand, if what you're putting out there is too perfect and too shiny and too on point all the time, that's not relatable for people. I think the more real you are and the more authentic, I feel like that word is so overused, but really the more real you are, the more relatable you are, and the more people want to join what you're doing and join your groups and participate in what you're doing.
So yeah, so humor's
there's keeping it real.
Keeping it real, yeah. So this is another one I'll just explain real fast. We were headed to a conference. Jamie was there the day before.
He was speaking at the conference.
He was a little bit more serious than I am, and he was talking about how nervous he was about presenting, and I'm giving a talk tomorrow, And
he made this very serious post about,
So
yeah.
So I flew in the next day, and mine was all about how nervous I was, and I've graduated from doing from word searches to crossword puzzles, right? So I think I'm up, New York Times, here I come. So it's just a bit more
we're a little more light and fluffy.
Yeah, that's all. But that's how we're different. So you can't try and be somebody else either. Where are we here? Next. Yeah. So
would you buy from you? So if you were going across your page, would people know that you're in business? Would they know that they can buy from you? Would they know that what you're selling and who you are?
We do that with our coaches. We do it. We're going to start doing it on a monthly basis. It's just basically like a 3 to 5 day review. Go back and check your posts, and you guys can do this after the call, is go check the past 3 days.
Have you been consistent? Would
somebody know they can buy a challenge pack from you? And would somebody know they could join your team as a coach with you based on your last 3 days worth of posts? If not, then you're probably not posting enough about it.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So this is the fun part. And this is what we were getting at, is as a coach, this can be, what do you like to call it? This is our little...
It's like, this can be your own little reality show. You can be whoever you want to be in this. You figure out what your brand is, who you are, and that's what you put out there to people. No, go ahead.
Yeah. No, you can keep talking. Yeah. So it's, again, if you think you're a certain way, but you have trouble expressing it, Facebook is like the perfect place to do it, because nobody other than trolls and people to come on, you can actually be whoever you want. So sometimes we joke about it that if you're sitting there typing and you don't feel confident, we used to joke about, go out and buy a Wonder Woman costume, put it on while you're at your computer, do whatever you have to, have a bottle of wine. It doesn't matter. No, I don't recommend that, but half a bottle. But do whatever you have to do behind the screen to be who you want to be. This is your chance. And that's part of the fun part about this.
Yeah, you can put out there whatever you want to put out. So y'all have a personal brand. Are you managing it?
Yeah. So again, please make sure that if it is your brand, like I said, you're being consistent. You can't talk about one thing one day and one the next. You kind of have to keep it all in the same perspective. Now, whether, for example, I'm always jealous of ladies who, and don't get me wrong, who get to be pregnant. I'm going a certain way with this, but that's like, in this business, that's like gold, right? That's just,
we can make that happen a third time.
No, we're done. We are done.
He's done.
I'm done. So it's like that. The nice thing about it is it's that consistent. It's like you have a brand for 9 months. Yeah. I'm not saying it's easy, and I wish I was pregnant, but from a brand perspective, it's like
that we can't make happen.
No, you can follow that. So that's what we mean about managing it. And again, what are you known for? What have you developed as your niche? And we talk a lot about, you can be as specific as
right.
Like a first responder is a really precise one. But the cool thing about it is that gets back to the title of the talk, is if you're marketing to everybody, you're marketing to nobody. But if you can target that directly at, say, first responders, or teacher, single parent teachers, as opposed to just teachers, like you can be as precise as possible, because what you're going to have is a much stronger following instead of a scattering of followers.
And again, like I said before, on Instagram, I do a lot of stuff about infertility, and it all goes with the hashtags that you use and everything. But I had, quite a few people following because of that. Like that's my thing on Instagram. That's the way I've been marketing myself. So you need to figure out what your unique value is, what your things are, what's your passion, what are you passionate about? Figure out who you are and what your brand is. I'm going to digress at the end if I can remember to do it. But yeah, nobody is the unique you, as we always say. There's nobody as unique as you are out there. So be as you as possible. Consistency. Do you want to talk about that? Yeah. So whatever we post on Facebook, we also post on Instagram. We also have a Pinterest page. And we try to be consistent across all platforms. So what we're posting in one, we post in all.
Yeah. And the theme of your look, right? You don't want to be, you might, but you don't necessarily want to be, using black and white only on one page, and then your Facebook is a totally different looking brand. So
because people are going to go look at you in different platforms, and they want to be able to recognize who you are and know that that's you.
And again, go where you're appreciated. Like if you're not a live video person, I said, make a run for Instagram now, or go look at Pinterest. Something where you feel you're appreciated and it's your thing, right? And like I said before, no one's a unique blend of you, and nobody is going to like the exact same things as you, but I guarantee you there's a bunch of people out there that your brand will attract. And we like to joke about this is right now, be the person now that you would love to be introduced as at a dinner party in 10 years from now. And I'll try and clarify that. So in 10 years from now, how do you want somebody to introduce you? Well, you can actually be that person right now if you really want to. So don't wait for 10 years to turn into this person. We have the perfect platform right now to be whoever you want. So a couple things really quickly. In order to get there, keep it simple. You hear the vital behaviors all the time. These are the basics for us. We love our challenge groups.
So we put a lot of time and effort into our challenge groups. And that's where we're consistent with our branding as well in our challenge groups.
We tend to go live every morning now in our challenge groups. It seems to get the engagement up. And it's one less thing that you have to worry about posting, because you can pseudo wing it to some degree. But I love.
And people like to see the interaction, the live interaction with you. And so that seems to be working right now.
Promote on Facebook or Instagram ads. From a business perspective, personally, at the beginning, I think you should be putting every single dollar that you make into advertising. Personally, if you're not advertising, your warm market's going to dry up and you'll die. Personally, that's my opinion. You can only go so far with friends and family and maybe, a few of their friends, but you need to advertise. That's what every business does. Ours just happens to be online. So we spend a fair chunk of money advertising. Still haven't really, I don't know if you guys advertise on Instagram or not. Casey, do you at all? Yeah, I don't find it effective. We still get the most bang for a buck out of Facebook. And then clean eating groups or some kind of free group. I saw, Casey, I think you're running one right now. Is it targeted just to pregnant people or no? Okay.
It's not targeted to pregnant people, but I just want to, because we're talking about branding, this is like really funny. So I posted a video, and because obviously my brand is pregnant people, I did not target pregnant people. I had 40 new people that are all pregnant. Every single freaking one of them that asked to join into the group for the one day that I ran the ad, all pregnant. And it said nowhere in there that like you had to be pregnant. So it's just kind of really neat to me that you kind of like attracts like anyway. So yeah, not targeted necessarily to pregnant people, but definitely I found all of them.
But that goes to show you that based on what she's been posting about, that's the people who've started following her, and that's who she's attracting.
The vibe attracts your tribe.
So again, if you're just kind of posting to everybody, you're probably not going to attract anybody. You will, but not to the extent of, and that's why I specifically said, not that you're lucky. Well, you are lucky to be pregnant considering what we've been through, but it's nice to have that niche that you can target for 9 straight months, and you can tell that it's been effective. Not that you pseudo doing it on purpose. You have no choice. And then sneak peeks. You have to, if KC's not doing one, you should be doing them yourself after a certain level. And one of the best tips that I ever got at NLC was from Bonnie Engel is don't even run sneak peeks. And I know this is sounding contradictory. She goes, your Facebook feed, should be your running sneak peek. Don't wait for a 5-day sneak peek to talk about how wonderful coaching is.
Just talk about it all the time. Talk about it on your page.
Do it every single day. Or, you know, we had, how many people in our first challenge group?
We had 4 people.
We had 4 people in our first challenge group.
And one of them was his mom, and the other one was my mom.
Yeah.
And I think we actually only had 2 real people.
So, but
to the outside world,
it was the best place ever.
Biggest and best challenge group ever.
Woo! You should see what it's like inside our challenge group. Come on. Right? Nobody knows.
We talked it up like nobody's business.
Yeah.
And
it worked.
Yeah, and then the next month we had maybe one more person, and it just snowballed from there. But man, did we talk it up?
Yeah. So that's again, don't wait.
It can be whatever you want to be.
Yeah. Don't wait for a sneak peek to talk about how awesome this job is. Attend events. Obviously, I don't think we've missed. We haven't missed.
No.
Yeah.
Not a Super Saturday. No. Yeah,
I don't know. It's part of the culture to me. It's part of it is a responsibility to go once you have other coaches, if you can, if it's close enough. I know if you're stuck in the boonies, it's hard sometimes. We're lucky we're half hour from Toronto.
And we always feel re-energized when we leave those events. You come home and you're like, oh, so inspired. And those are great.
Participate in Team Cup. Whether you're never going to beat the Frenchies at this, as far as I'm concerned. But again, it's a great way to get that team spirit together
and gain the momentum together. Yeah,
because you're working by yourself, but it's nice to join forces every now and then and to share. So, we lost it again. Where did that go? Okay, we're going to get into few quick technical things, and I didn't notice, I don't know if any of our people jumped on. Do you see any strangers that you don't know on there? I know you have to squeal through. I don't think so.
No.
Okay, cool. So we can be mean.
So a big part of our branding is our photos, which we talked about before. And the one of the big things that we emphasize with new coaches is, and we actually do training with them, is how to use filters on pictures and how to process pictures.
How to crop.
You're
allowed to crop. You can crop. In case you didn't know, you're allowed to crop a picture. It doesn't have to be as is.
Yeah. So we provide training for our new coaches on how to filter pictures, how to edit them,
how to crop.
How to crop a picture. How to crop a picture.
So again, nothing wrong, and not every single picture, nothing wrong with raw pictures, but just the difference to sometimes. So here's a basic picture of our kids. There it is, filtered with some text, right? And maybe 2 different apps used. And I know you're all going to ask after, but we're not going to tell you what they are. No, I'm just kidding. We will. So again, there's the original. That's what it looks like after. Pop of color. It's got some text. We try and make it look, not always, but a little magazine-ish if you can. So again, not a bad picture. Nothing wrong with it. But you jazz it up a bit, and it just, I don't know, hopefully you guys can see. I don't know if the resolution's decent or not. But yeah, it's just, it gives it that vibrancy that you want it to stand out.
And again, once you start using filters and doing stuff for your pictures, you'll find that we usually always use the same ones. So our look is consistent throughout.
I noticed Casey's is the same kind of, you've got your favorite filter. So again, decent picture, nothing really wrong with it, but you can jazz it up, and I'll just go back and forth a bit to see the difference. It adds pop to it. There's some text there.
There's some Insta beauty there.
A hell of a lot of Insta beauty.
Wrinkles.
Yeah. I wish there was have you found an app where you can add hair though? Because I need just a little touch sometimes.
Oh, that's okay.
It's okay. I'm getting there. I'm old, right? So the next one, again, it drives me nuts. Honestly, it drives me nuts. And I'm going to say this on behalf of KC, and I don't know any of you. Well, we do know a couple of you. But how can you not add a filter and crop and jazz up a food picture? Again, looks great, but so much more potential, right? Like, and that took maybe 2 minutes to do that, right? Again, nothing wrong with the picture, but you crop it, you rotate it.
It just makes you look more professional too at the end of the day. And if you throw your logo up on there, like that's professional. That's part of your brand.
That's ours anyway.
Yeah.
Again, they're side by side, decent picture, but it just brings out a bit more now.
Play with the lighting.
Yeah, lighting
exposure
is the other thing. If you have a darker picture with the apps they have now on the phones, it's crazy. You should never post a picture that's too dark. So again, just a couple other examples of how you can quickly, not a bad picture on the left, but such to us an improvement on the right. And again, same thing.
Adding text makes a world of difference. Cropping. Do you want to talk about cropping?
Yeah. I don't know if you can tell that we cropped that. That's our daughter in our pool. Nothing wrong with the first picture. It's cool. But you crop it and add a little bit of text, and it just makes it look it's got some more pop to it, right? You just have to be careful with your text if you're going to boost anything with Facebook, obviously. It can't be more than 25%. So just watch that. Sometimes we create 2 different versions, one on our personal page that would look like this. And if we're going to boost it, we'll just shrink the text down a little bit.
Yeah, and we would use that on Instagram too.
Yeah. And again, with this one and with this one, you could see another style we were kind of going with for a while. They start to look a little bit the same, right? That's our little dude on the left. Again, use a filter, obviously. And they're just a little, you start to get that vibe where you're liking the look of something. And we kind of stick with it. Then you see other people doing it and you kind of start to change, right? So that's that one. We're just going to leave you with some of the PD.
Yeah.
Some books that you may have read or may not have read. Gary Vaynerchuk was at Summit. I have like this man crush for the guy. And if you know who he is, you know it's not physical. I just love how he's straight up.
Forward. Yeah.
And the best thing he said at Summit was, I'm going to tell you 99% of how to do things because 99% of you are too lazy to actually follow through with what I'm telling you. So those 3 books there, Utility by Jay Baer and Tribes by Seth Godin. And then if you're a road person, I drive like
most of the day. So he listens to podcasts and audiobooks while he's driving.
Lewis Howes, if you're
was it School of
Greatness is like awesome, especially if you like not sciencey stuff, but he has like doctors and stuff. It's health and wellness related and PD. And who do you, as far as yours, that
I like Shailene Johnson.
Yeah.
So I've been listening to her podcast for a little while. So that's who I'm on right now.
Yeah. But again, that'll change with my new book, and I'll leave this with you. And that'll be the end of it is, I won't swear, but it's called How to Not Give a Fuck. And it is honestly, it starts off like almost anti-Beachbody, the way they talk, but then it turns it around how you can just be yourself and not really give a flying F about what anybody else thinks and do your own thing. So that's kind of what we've done. And hopefully that gave you guys a little bit of insight of, where we came from, how we started. But that's it.
I know there was a few questions that came up, so I don't know if you guys want to go through the chat. While you're doing that, I just wanted to touch on branding. Something that I have learned this year with my own coaching journey this year has been branding yourself is not necessarily what you stand for or who you are or who your niche is at that time either. Like my brand is being pregnant or my brand is being a mom. Another thing that is huge, you guys, for branding yourself is what you learn in your personal development. So what I did in the last like 3-4 months is I've been doing some huge spiritual soul searching. And for me, that's very much, like universal stuff, listening to chakras, doing stuff like that. And so as I'm learning more about chakras or natural childbirthing or, different energy centers or spiritual stuff, that also becomes my brand. So what I'm learning in my personal development every day, I need to be talking about that, because if I'm on a spiritual journey and I'm learning about chakras, say, somebody else is too, and that becomes my brand. If your brand is in your personal development in your life, you're needing parenting, you're struggling with your parenting, and that becomes your personal development. That also becomes your brand. So what you're pulling in, putting it out too. So what you're learning as you go, about parenting, putting that out there, and there's other parents that all of a sudden are going to come in. So I've learned that about branding as well. It's not just fitness or nutrition or being pregnant or, anxiety, depression, or whatever the situation is. Very much personal development. And it's really cool how it's always evolving. But when we're doing personal development, we're fired up and we're excited about that specific thing. So we're attracting that market so much. We have so much to offer. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to throw that out there, because like my market is always changing. But for me, in the last probably 3 or 4 months, my brand huge has been about my spiritual journey and what I'm learning. And I'm attracting all of these other crazy hippie people. And I'm like, that makes sense, because I'm so in tune with that right now. So it's kind of cool for you guys just to, not you two, but for the rest of the team, tapping into that, what are you learning in your personal development? What are you working on? And how can you apply that? How can you pay that forward and attract like-minded people that way as well? Do you guys want to go through the chat?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So NLC, someone mentioned New Leaders Conference. Once you hit 2-star, you get to go to the New Leaders Conference it's actually right next door to Beverly Hills. It's really cool. They put you up. It's pretty awesome. So that's a 2-star thing. What do you do for live in the challenge groups? So
whatever we would used to post, let's say, this morning we did.
Today was simple.
Yeah, we usually do motivational Mondays, let's say, and we would do a little write-up and then post a picture. And now, as opposed to doing that, we go live, we talk about what motivates us.
Yeah.
And we just engage. We wait till people get on to viewing us and they start asking questions or they start engaging, and we just kind of go back and forth. And usually we're on there for about 5 to 10 minutes. Max
yeah.
In the mornings.
Or sometimes it's what the issue of the day was maybe previously. So if people were talking about something the day before, we'll just
carry it over the next morning. And
yeah, we always try and have an assignment kind of thing with it, or some kind of a what's the word I'm looking for?
A challenge for the day.
Yeah, something that they just have to respond to. So, but
to keep the engagement.
It varies.
Mm-hmm.
There's one other question I thought. Oh yeah, no, clean eating groups are crazy. If you're new and you're not doing a clean eating group,
it's such a great way to build up your friends list.
Yeah.
We just ran a free crock-pot group, and we had 400 people in it.
And now we carried one over.
Yeah.
But we didn't even boost an ad. We just did one similar to the same method you use, Casey, the whole share, whatever. And yeah, I think we added 200 and some people without a boost. We still did a boost to get the cold market people in, people we don't know. And that probably added another 50, but those are 50. If you're struggling and you start and you only have 200 friends on Facebook, you are nuts not to do a clean eating group. It's a great way to grow your friend base.
And again, we went live in it every day, probably twice a day. And it was just a great way for people to see what we do and how we do it. And it just kind of give them an insight into what our challenge groups look like as well.
Through Jamie always does for Crush It. We always do at least one a month, a sneak peek. We have to get our ass in gear and do our own videos. And then do you guys use the Challenge Tracker app exclusively, or are you guys on Facebook for your challenge groups? Challenge anybody. Laura, I saw you nodding your head. Challenge tracker app. Yeah. So that makes it hard to go live, I guess. What I don't know. Some people have worked out some way to put once you've gone live, but then it's just like a video, you can put the address, the Facebook address of your post, and they can watch it through the challenge tracker app. I don't know if that's a half-assed workaround, but yeah, it's the only thing stopping us from using the challenge tracker app is the effectiveness of live, both for challengers and getting coaches out of your challenge group. Mm-hmm. So, because you can just connect so much more with live. I don't know. This is what we do on live. It's not anything fancy, right? But they get to see you and you get to answer questions, and it brings people out a bit more. Mm-hmm. We use the challenge tracker app for sorry, I can't remember what's that?
Health bet?
Yeah, the health bet. And we'll do it again in January, but we did it more just, to try it. We're not sold on it. I know it's going that way. I know Beachbody is going to make that the thing. That's why they're doing it again and putting $3 million up. And I figured they'll probably take that, incorporate it with Coach Mobile, and make it all one thing where you can do everything from the mobile app. So we're going to have to suck it up. Yeah. But for now, what apps? So we use strictly Photoshop. That's it. Snapseed is one.
Aviary is a great one. There's so many different things you can do with Aviary.
Aviary. Snapseed. I use InstaBeauty because I'm 50 next year, so I have to. What else?
Let me check. What else do we?
You are not 50 next year.
Yep.
Not yet.
Up.
Next year I am.
That's what I said. I can't even. You're lying to me. That's crazy to me.
And I'm 60.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
What else?
I'm 21. Just kidding.
And I'm going to jail. What else?
What else?
Kind of it.
That's kind of it.
Yeah, that's it. Nothing special. We pretty much use
Photify for text.
Photify with a PH, like fat, because I'm so uncool old. What else? That's it. Any other questions?
I was gonna ask you guys, like, for a new coach, like, what do you recommend your new coaches doing as far as paid ads? Like, if you were to recommend to a new coach, okay, you've got the X amount of budget, right? Because our budgets are all very different in what we're willing to put back into it when you're 6 months into the business as opposed to, a new coach. So at what point do you have your new coaches start investing into paid ads, kind of depending on their budget, and where do you have them spend that money? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Again, you have to talk with them and see where their income level is. If you have no income, go with running a free group. It can be a free exercise group. We just did a crock pot one. Our next one's going to be a chocolate group. But that way, what's that? Yeah,
the whole week, or
honestly, that's part, and it's right before Christmas, right? So we thought, what a perfect time to do a pseudo clean chocolate group. So, because then what you do is you have the person and I think Casey, you did this with yours, is you have to like it, you have to share it on your page, you have to add me as a friend. So right away, you're kind of for free going mini viral, right? You're not, as opposed to, and then all those people share it. You can we tell our coaches, go in and add everybody as a friend until Facebook stops you. Kind of get into it. One little thing that we use is you'll get into a little circle of friends, and then you just start expanding within that circle of friends who
just keep adding,
right? Until Facebook blocks you. So that's one way to do it. If you have minimal money, when we started, we were told, get to 1,000 likes and run an ad. Do not run an ad until you're at 1,000 likes. And we have
2,000 friends.
No, 1,000 likes on your business page.
Yeah,
so make sure, we've tried both. We've tried the targeting. It works okay, but doing friends of friends, and they've even changed it again now, that was the most effective. So we spent whatever we had to get to 1,000 likes. It didn't matter how much it cost. We put every dime back into it. We probably went in the hole a little bit at the beginning because we were told, no, you have to get to 1,000 likes to make your ads effective. Hey, little buddy. And then, so that was what we did. But I know everybody's different. I'd run clean eating groups every month to get your friends up. And then you invite them to like your page. We ran like ads. We're still running like ads. Katie Elder. Sounds like a familiar name. So yeah, no, we still run like ads. I mean, some of those are organic. I think we're at 13,000 now, but it just makes running other ads that much more effective. So yeah, to get to 1,000, we bought, 800 of them through targeting. So, but it worked, right? And then you run an ad and it goes to friends of friends. So there's that 2 degrees of Kevin Bacon away that you're not some random stranger. So you guys are too young to remember 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon game. Anyway. Yeah. Nicole, you look like you're about 12.
Do you guys have any other questions?
Okay, you're 24, right? That's my guess. 24? 22.
22.
Jeez, you are young.
Pretty
Any
cool.
other questions? No?
You guys are good? Okay, awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys being on here so much. I love learning from other people, and even when it's, not the same stuff, but even when it's like that, it's the same simple things, like if you follow the same simple things, anyone can be successful in this business. And it blows my mind that people think that there's like the secret sauce, or that there's, are you taking a picture of me? And
Not yet.
I'm like this. Every picture. And yeah, so I love hearing it again. And I love hearing the fact that, all of these people have been successful. It was the same thing for you guys. It was, you showed up every single day. You focused on your own journey first.
We just did what they told us to do, literally.
It's the same thing for everybody. And so if you're falling short somewhere in your business, it's probably one of those things, starting with the vital behaviors, not sharing it. So I appreciate you guys coming here tonight. I appreciate you sharing everything with us. And I don't think there's any other questions from you guys.
And just for the record, we both have full-time jobs and a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. So as far as time goes, throw that stupid excuse out the window, because we have none. So if we can squeeze it in, any 22-year-old with, can do it. So I don't know why I'm picking on you now. We're going to take a pic, okay? So, and we're going to try and be in it. Get close to the computer. We're going to try like this. And we've got to get the Instapot in, because that's my next post. See, I'm leading up to the Instapot. Hopefully somebody notices it in my picture. Jeez.
Sorry again.
We have to take 19 pictures, right? Okay. You know the drill. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Thank you to you guys who did show up for the call, and have a good night, guys.
You too.